Clerk will call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by Craig Maxwell. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges. Thanks, sir.
Good morning, Judge. Commissioners, bow your head. Lord, we come before you grateful for the many blessings you have given us. In a world with many opportunities and challenges, we can either accept these blessings with a smile and make this a better place in which to live, or choose to do nothing because the task is too difficult. But we will be hard-pressed to do it alone. Guide us, strengthen us, lead us. It's up to us to try to put others' needs before our wants. You sent your only Son so that we would be forgiven of our sins. He showed us kindness, mercy, along with wonderful teachings that should be a staple of our everyday lives. God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save it through him. Now it's up to us to do the same for others. On this day after our recognition of that fateful day when so many put down their fears and risk their lives so that we may have freedom, opportunity, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we say many thanks. Please look out for those who are away from home and away from loved ones. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Craig. Stromanius, agenda announcements?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we only have one announcement this morning. That's under the Administrator's section. Item 8A7. We're going to ask that one particular item be held for a week. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of May the 24th.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Under proclamations, we have several. I believe they're for ratification. The first is the Mount Olivet Memorial Day service. We had an opportunity to be there in memory or in observance of the sacrifices that have been made. As Craig just mentioned and others, if you look at what's occurred since last we met, Memorial Day, for over 240 years, basically 1.3 million men and women sacrificed their lives so that we could gain and maintain the liberties we enjoy. Yesterday was the 72nd anniversary of D-Day. Again, many of the folks who are in that 1.3 million gave their lives up on the beaches of Normandy. A fact that I didn't realize here in our own community, the city of Bedford lost 19 people on D-Day. And I think certainly within Tarrant County, it was the largest percentage of loss suffered within an individual community. So we have a lot to be thankful for when we say our pledge every Tuesday. I hope we all try not to make it just words that we're repeating out of rote memory, but that we think about the sacrifices of the folks who gave their lives so that we could be able to enjoy those freedoms. So with that, I will move that proclamation for Mount Olivet Memorial Day.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have a couple of congratulatory resolutions.
Yes, sir, and they both are for ratification as well. One will be presented this Saturday. It's a congratulatory resolution for the city of Dalworth Gardens turning 80 years old. And the second one is to congratulate the Kennedale High School Lady Cat soccer team winning their second championship, back-to-back state championship. Remember, they were here last year, and they just won it again. So both of those will be presented on behalf of the Commissioners Court. So I move for its ratification.
Second them both.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Johnson, I believe you have another, it's not a resolution, but it's at least honoring a group.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the announcement in your absence. I, along with some sheriff's employees, Steve Sparks I know was there, but we met with the Texas Jail Commission on Jail Standards last week. And once again, Tarrant County has passed the inspection. In fact, this thing was done, it was a surprise inspection. They came in and we wasn't aware of it. And they found 2 or 3 little minor things that are noted in this, but they approved it with flying colors. All 3 of the items that they found were cleared up while they were here. So,
Excellent.
congratulations to our Sheriff's Department for another outstanding job. Thank you.
And I want to say again, thank you, and I wanted to do that before we did our employee recognition. But a big thanks also goes out to the facility folks, because I know that they work around the clock. Whenever I've had an opportunity to go out and visit the different shifts, somebody's painting. I mean, they're painting all of the time. They're fixing, they're mopping. So we're very proud of this honor. And we're very pleased that our people work so well together to make sure, as you said, a couple of things. That usually, when those couple of things happen, it's usually facilities running over to make sure that it's fixed before the inspector can get back around to look at it again. So, again, good job.
Well, they're doing an outstanding job in the sheriff's office, and we appreciate it very much.
Do you know how many straight years this is, JD?
I was going to ask.
22.
Is it 22?
That's fantastic.
Outstanding.
That really is. I'm going to take that as a motion to receive and file this report.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously, even though it's not on the agenda.
Okay then.
So bottom line, y'all figure out what to do with it. Because all of a sudden it dawned on me, on this agenda, so I don't know where we're going to go, but between the DA who's holding his ears shut and the clerks who are trying to figure out where do I put this in the minutes,
They'll figure it out.
they'll figure it out.
Vince, you can come out from under the desk now.
With that, we will move to our employee recognition, and just to kind of tell everybody what they already know, I'll call you when you're in different groups, 5, 10, 15, and 20. And so when I call, the group will stay standing until I've called everybody, and then we'll thank you for that. So we'll begin with our 5-year employees. The first is Erica Bates with the Auditor's Office. There she is. Bradley Black with the Sheriff's Department. Veronica Cabral with Cooperative Extension. Jimmy Cantu with Domestic Relations. Michael Graves with Transportation Services. Felicia Holly with the Sheriff's Department. Natalie Juarez with Veteran Services. Marcus McCoy, Facilities Management. Stephanie Soreto, Transportation Services. Tori Thornsell with the Sheriff's Department. Jermaine Walker, County Auditor. Michael Williams, the Sheriff's Department. And Elizabeth Young, Domestic Relations Office. Thank you all for your 5 years. Now for our tenure employees, John Good, Sheriff's Department. Aaron Gray, Sheriff's Department. Gary Harkins, Sheriff's Department. There you go. Wayne Johnson, Public Health Department. Matthew King, Magistrate Court. Kelly Medor, Criminal District Attorney's Office. Charlotte Tackett, Tax Office. How are you? William Travis, Sheriff's Department. Veronica Velasquez, Sheriff's Department. Joseph Videla.
Vendiola.
Yeah, that sounds right. Precinct 4. Next time I have a question, I'll let him. Sandra Wolford, Public Health Department. Nicole, here we go, Zertic, County Clerk's Office. Nicole, how do you say that last name? Yeah, I was real close on that one. Thank y'all for your 10 years of service. For our 15-year employees, Kevin Bruton, Precinct 4. Must have been pretty good on that.
Those boys are working.
I'm just going to keep going. Sherry Crane, Sheriff's Department. Sherry, thank you. Leon Gold, Sheriff's Department. Sonia Johnson, Tax Office. Shonda. I figured that about the time I said it, but it got out anyway. Christopher McKendry, Information Technology. And these are our 15-year employees. Now for our 20-year employees, Dana Austin, the Medical Examiner's Office. Timothy Everhart, Sheriff's Department. James McDonald, Sheriff's Department. Kimberly Turner, Sheriff's Department. And Donna Zavala, Juvenile Services. Thank you all very much for your... Now for our 25-year, Mike Faller with the Sheriff's Confinement Area. There's Mike. Started off in Cold Springs, went to the Correction Center after that. Is now working in the Administrative Center area of the Correction Center. When I asked him about memorable moments, it was back when, in working in the Cold Springs area, and those are kind of old barracks, and what he said was that you're trying to figure out who's the most constrained, the prisoners or the folks that are having to work out there. When I asked him what he liked most, it was the people that he had a chance to work with, the fact that he was allowed to do his job. I mean, just, basically not having folks micromanage. The opportunities that have been afforded to the folks who work at Tarrant County, he said it really is a big family. And the attitudes are that way. They look out for one another. He said it was just, it was a great place to work. He said he remembered the first day and what a maze it was to work in the place. Has watched his family grow up while he's worked in the county. When I asked him kind of what's happened since last we talked, he said, again, as so many of us as we discuss in these conversations, how quickly the time flies by now. He has 2 grandkids, 4 and 14, and he said, it's really been a blessing to work for Tarrant County. Mike, thank you very, very much for your time. Next is Sharon Olam, Sheriff's Courts area for 30 years. Started out as a clerk in the jail, became a jailer. She served in the mental warrants area for 4 years, and she's back in the courts area and court security. when I asked her what she liked most, again, it was the nice people that she'd had a chance to work for. As you know, again, family. Her co-workers are like family with her. Just loves the people and the public, helping others, and the folks that she's come in contact with. When I asked her what had occurred since last we talked, she said, well, a lot. She had brain surgery and feels very fortunate to have, gone through that. Probably not to have gone through it, but to have come through it. She's retiring at the end of next month. And she said, I'm excited about starting a new chapter in her life. She said, the thing, you're always hesitant. You're going to miss the folks that you spent your life with for the last 30 years. And so it's a little anxious, but she said, it's going to be okay. And she can still come back and visit a little bit. Still on the outside of the bars, not on the inside. But she said, I have absolutely loved working for Tarrant County. She has a brand new 6-month-old grandson, and I think that's going to take care of a lot of that retirement. Is that your daughter right there in front, or just somebody who knew you, a member of the family, a friend? And so again, we really want to thank you, Sharon, for the 30 years of service you've given to Tarrant County. And I had a chance to meet a young man earlier, commissioner from Potter County, Commissioner Vaughn. I know he's here to, there he is back there. Welcome. He is actually here to visit the jail, again on the outside, not on the inside, to see how it's run. And you heard us talk about the inspections, and again, one of the other successes, I think, in our whole jail program and moving folks through there is the cooperation that that everybody got together about, how many years ago was it, Sharon?
2004.
So about 12 years ago, where the judges, the defense, everybody that's involved with the individual, the jailee, from the beginning of the system to the end of the system, got together to figure out how we could better smooth that system out. And as a result of that, we, I think, are one of the only jails that stay at basically 60 to 65% capacity. So it's been a fantastic.
It's been more than 12 years, though, I believe.
1989 is when we started the expediter unit.
Yeah.
On
Well,
the jail overcrowding.
But there was a rocket docket that they did in 2004. I mean, it's all been a part of the deal. It's been an ongoing process, but
Right.
it's been very helpful. We're the only urban county that is not really always or near, either at or near capacity. So, and again, that's because of the folks that we've just recognized working together and, more focused on public service than on just doing a job from 8 to 5. So, yes, sir.
Before we let Commissioner Vaughn escape back to Potter County, I would suggest that a couple of connections be made here this morning. One would be with IT to look at our tech share offerings, our prosecutor program, and those various software programs that help in the administration of justice here in Tarrant County.
They're already implementing the JP's program as we speak, and
Prosecutor.
And prosecutor. So,
Potter County implementing courts last month.
yeah, that's the JP courts that they're looking at, and they're going to move.
And the second would be with West Jury and Chapin Stogland on reintegration programs.
Again, thank all those employees that we recognize. Thank you for your dedicated service. We have a total, if I can turn the page, Adam, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, of 415 years. So thank you again. Refreshments in 504C. Follow Wilder if he's not already there. I'll move that we receive and file the employee recognition.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Yeah, we actually started that committee back when we had Cyclone Fence Jail on here. Remember that?
No, I wasn't during that enough.
Yeah. Boy, I remember.
Let's take care of that.
That's before you started cutting these
Yep, right up Bear Creek.
So next week we can ratify what I did this week. So next week I can ratify what we did this week. Jail standards report.
Is that what we've got to do?
Board members, you have before you the consent agenda, remembering that item 8A7 has been removed.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion is second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have two additional items to bring to you this morning. The first one, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve an agreement between Tarrant County and Redemption Bridge to develop a model for reentry and reintegration for individuals released from incarceration from our county jail, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, also including individuals departing from the U.S. military.
I move approval
Second.
with the comment that this gives us one more tool in our toolbox to be able to help the reentering population successfully reintegrate into our society. This is a big step forward. It took a long time to get here, gentlemen, but county government is slow but sure. So welcome to the reintegration family of Tarrant County.
If there's no further discussion, please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Your Honor, Ms. McMillan is going to present the second item.
It's you, Lisa. You can leave it in the water.
I'm dreaming of TCU and A&M baseball already. So.
You had to start.
I already have them all down, I think, or most of them.
All right, well, in 2014, the Commissioners Court approved the county participation in the Town of Trophy Club Tax Increment Financing Reinvestment Zone, number 1, contributing 60% of the increment for 20 years up until a maximum of just above $1.5 million. The Town of Trophy Club established the zone in 2013, and per state statute, the year of the zone establishment is when the base value is set. However, we discovered that the base value was defined incorrectly in the participation agreement as January 1, 2014. So we are asking you to approve the resolution amendment number 1 to the participation agreement between the Town of Trophy Club and Tarrant County for the Trophy Club Tax Increment Financing Zone number 1, providing for the approval of the modification to the definition for tax increment base to include the words January 1, 2013 for the base year.
I move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tidwell.
We have one item we're asking the court to consider this morning, and that is to receive and file the Tarrant County financial statements for the 7 months ended April 30th, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Quinn?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 3 items for the court this morning. The first item, we're asking the court to receive and file the personnel agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Receive and file the personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 2, we're asking the court to approve a double fill as well as a waiver of terminal benefits for my department. The court's aware that Ann Farmer is leaving us. Some of us are really sad about that. She's retiring June the 24th with 400 vacation hours. We're requesting a waiver of 400 hours plus permission to double bill for 1 week at a net cost to the general fund of approximately $13,000, including fringe benefits.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our third and final item, we're asking the court to approve a waiver of terminal benefits for Constable Precinct 3. Constable has a deputy constable who retired at the end of April. The constable is requesting a waiver of 184 vacation hours effective June 8th at a net cost to the general fund of approximately $540.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Chris?
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor, court members.
Good morning, Chris.
This morning we have Information Technology Department has one item to present to you. It is requested that the Commissioners Court approve the submission of an electronic grant application to the Tarrant County 911 District for the fiscal year 2016 Radio Assistance Program. This grant is for some limited funds that the district it has available for eligible entities for public safety interoperability of those radios. And the amount is $48,369, and we want to put a grant for just about that total.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Mr. Benny?
Good morning, Your Honor, members of the court.
Good morning.
Public Health has 3 items before you for approval. Item number 1 is approval of a contract with the Texas Health Resources to provide nursing, clinical skills instruction services.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Second item is approval to submit the Department of State Health Services fiscal year 2016-17 Community Preparedness Section Laboratory Response Network grant application. If you recall, last year there was some Ebola supplemental funds approved. It took a while for them to kind of process everything, and this is sort of catching up on all those monies, and they were supposed to come to our laboratory for some equipment.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Third item is approval of amendment number 2 to the FY 2015 Public Health Fee Schedule. There's only one item in this amendment. It is state Medicaid issued guidance that they're reducing the immunization administration fee for VFC clients from $21 and some cents to $14.75. So we've reduced our fees accordingly from $20 to $14, and we're requesting approval to make that change.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Vinny, we picked up an additional Zika case last week. Would you tell us a little bit on where we stand on that issue?
Sure. If you please the court. There are currently 4 confirmed cases of Zika in Tarrant County. And across the state, there are approximately 40 confirmed cases. And I say approximately because state data shows 40, but we know internally talking to other health departments that there are some more confirmed cases from their laboratories. So the true picture is probably close to 50 at this point, but the data lags a little bit for confirmation. All of them are imported cases, except for the one that happened in Dallas County that was a sexual transmission. That's the only known one so far in Texas. Nationwide, the picture is, the numbers are increasing. We have about 618 reported cases through the CDC in the continental United States. About 158 of those are pregnant women, 11 or so sexually transmitted, and 1 Guillain-Barré syndrome reported. U.S. territories, the picture is very different. In Puerto Rico, we've had close to 1,000 cases, and a majority of them are locally transmitted in Puerto Rico through their mosquitoes. So the picture in continental United States is very different. It's all imported cases, and we're hoping to keep it that way. But the reality is that the mosquito season is just beginning. Early part of the season, we see Culex mosquito more often, which carries West Nile. And later part of the season, late June, early July, is when the Aedes mosquito starts to pop up a lot more on our surveillance. And that's where we expect some, possibility of localized transmission. Now, of course, our plan is, to get to every case that we know of and assess their property and take appropriate response measures so that the person who's infected and is suffering through the disease doesn't end up transmitting it to the mosquitoes, and they in turn transmit to family members or neighbors. But it is not a fail-proof plan because 1, we don't know of all cases. 2, only 1 in 5 individuals show symptoms. So those asymptomatic individuals may not know that they're sick and may end up transmitting to mosquitoes. So those are some of the limitations of what we have. But again, we're very aggressively educating the public on taking care of standing water on their personal properties. That way the risk of mosquito growth is reduced. And it's a very timely reminder, so thanks for the opportunity because rains have just stopped. So rains were helping washing away all the mosquitoes and their larvae and their eggs, but now it's puddled water and warm temperature. Perfect breeding environment for mosquitoes, so this is a very timely reminder to everybody to take care of their own personal properties. Thank you.
And in terms of their personal bodies.
Right. Those methods always, we remind everybody that they need to take personal protection, wear long-sleeved clothes, long pants, and I know it's hard to do in the summertime when it's hot and muggy. People want to wear shorts and short sleeves and get out. Use bug spray. That's a good recommended method. Any EPA-approved bug spray. DEET is a common example that we recommend. Protect yourself throughout the day. If you're traveling, be aware if you're traveling to a Zika-affected country. Right now, there's 60 countries involved. Do not forget to pack a travel-size DEET or buy it at the airport or at your destination. Those are some of the things that we remind people of because we have to be really serious about protecting ourselves against mosquitoes. Zika is not the only disease that's out there right now. Dengue, chikungunya, there's an outbreak of yellow fever in Africa. So all of these things are mosquito-borne illnesses, and the common denominator is we need to protect ourselves against mosquitoes.
Finally, of our 4 cases, none are pregnant women.
None are pregnant women at this point, and we're following up on some other samples that have gone to either the state lab or CDC. They're not confirmed yet, so once those results are available, we'll have more information for the court.
Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny. Mr. Beecham, as I scoured through the weekend and watched the different programs, I never saw your Razorbacks anywhere in there. I saw LSU, I saw A&M and Tech and TCU, and never saw.
I know it's hard to believe that Arkansas and Alabama didn't not only make the SEC tournament, but play now. So our players are patiently sitting at home watching the replay of last year's LSU Arkansas football game.
Good for them.
We do have 7 items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a bid award recommendation for bid 2016-115. Signing a contract for sign shop supplies. Recommendation to award on a pre-enterprise basis, awarding to the primary, secondary vendors as shown in your court communique.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our second item is another bid award recommendation for bid 2016-121. This is our annual contract for erosion control, hydromelt services, and materials. Recommendation be toward a per-enterprise basis, hourly labor rate, and discount off the catalog, awarding to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors as shown in court communique.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 3 is another bid award recommendation for bid 2016-127. This is our annual contract for work uniforms. Recommendation would be to award on a fixed price discount from list price, awarding to the primary, secondary, and alternate vendors meeting all specifications.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 4 is another bid award recommendation for bid 2016-132. This is our semi-annual contract for copy paper, stock paper, and envelopes. Our recommendation would be to award on a per-enterprise basis, awarding to the primary and secondary vendors meeting all specifications.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 5 is an item in regards to RFP 2016-103. This is an RFP for a video wall display system for the Information Technology Department. We are recommending rejection. All proposals, the 2 that we received, were well over the $100,000 budget.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Item number 6 is an item in regards to RFQ 2016-106. This was a request for qualifications for mammography services. We are recommending rejection of both responses. There is additional verbiage that needs to be included in regards to no additional fees for facility usage and no assessment for parking fees.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our last item, number 7, is an item in regards to RFP 2016-131. It's an RFP for probabilistic genotyping software for the medical examiner's office. We are recommending rejection of both proposals. Neither one met the specifications, and we're seeking permission to reissue that RFP.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Wynn, I believe you have an interlocal agreement.
Yes, sir. We have an interlocal project with the city of Down Washington Gardens. I move for the approval of items 8 and 1A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Are there any appointments today? There being none, then you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
A motion is second. Approve the claims, including the addendum. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We have one audience participation, and that is Stephanie Bartingham. If you would please come forward. Repeat your name probably correctly, and give your address, please.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. I'm Stephanie Boardingham, and I live at 6707 Narrett Road in Forest Hill, Texas. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am coming to you this morning to introduce to you a problem that I've been experiencing with the city of Forest Hill for about 4 years now. I own a store in Forest Hill, the Indoor-Outdoor Market, which is an indoor consignment store and an outdoor flea market. We are located at 3402 Mansfield Highway. The back of our property runs into a street called Bisbee Street, which is a non-platted county road. On Wednesday, June 1st, the City of Forest Hill, Texas Public Works Department was ordered by the city manager, Shay Ipay, to dig up our property and place no parking signs 10 feet from the side of Bisbee Road along our fence line. The order was then given to remove tree branches from our trees within our fence. Since Bisbee Road either belongs to the county or us, the property owners, it's very perplexing to me why the city of Forest Hill would think that they would have a right-of-way on Bisbee Street. They told me they're enforcing a 60-foot right-of-way. Many requests have been made for proof from Forest Hill of ownership of any property in the Mary Hahn survey that belongs to Forest Hill, any right-of-ways, any information that would indicate that they had the right to seize our property, and no records have ever been found. Several of my vendors' and customers' vehicles were towed off of my property, and my company's vehicles were towed away, costing me over $700. And this all just happened. Signs went up Wednesday. Thursday, the trees were trimmed. Saturday was my first flea market day, and my car was ticketed immediately. And a couple of hours later, with the ticket still on the window, my vehicles were towed. As we sit here today, my property is coned off because it is a flea market day. And I did that in protection of the citizens of Forest Hill, the vendors, and myself against the city of Forest Hill, because I didn't want them to have to endure the suffering and pain that they have caused on me until we're able to get this situation corrected. In an email that I received last night to the city manager, Shay I Pay, from a former city council member, Joe Pirtle, she stated the statement that the property has never been annexed into the city of Forest Hill is correct. I don't know how I received that, but I did. That was not necessary because she says it wasn't necessary because it is included in the metes and bounds that were established when Forest Hill was incorporated. That was an incorrect statement because I do have the metes and bounds. On a survey that I obtained of some property that is within the city of Forest Hill that actually runs the metes and bound line, it indicates there's a street called Church Street. Church Street is located directly behind Harlene-Bill Elementary and is now called Mahaney Place. Cardinal Ridge is the street that runs south of Harlene-Bill. Truett is east of Harlene-Bill, and Old Mansfield is called Horton Street now. The city has confused the deed of Horton Street within the city of Forest Hill with Bisbee Street, an unplatted, unannexed private road. Outside that fence is the metes and bounds begins the Mary Horn survey, which is in the county. The Mary Horn survey proves that we are county. It has never been annexed by the city of Forest Hill, and nowhere does any paperwork exist that proves that the city of Forest Hill has annexed any property or have any rights to any property on that particular street. The city is removing us from property. They do not have authority to do so. It is my request that Tarrant County investigate the situation and bring a right and just response and directive to me so that I know which way to go in order to handle this so that I'm able to get my business back going again.
Wingham, we appreciate your coming forth. As you may know, because this was not an agendized item, we cannot respond to today's meeting.
Yes, sir.
And so when this happens, what we ask is that you present your information, get with Mr. Manius, our county administrator, and see if y'all together can resolve the issue. If not, then you're welcome to come back to us. We will agendize the item and open it for discussion. But, in most instances, we're able to resolve this without you having to come back. So we appreciate you being here today. And if you'll get with Mr. Manius, then hopefully we can help you and get this issue resolved.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have closed session?
Yes, sir, we do.
Then at this time, we will recess from our open meeting and proceed to our close to discuss items exempted under section 551.071, 072, 074, 076, and 087 of the Texas Government Code. Having returned from our closed session, and there being no business to conduct at this time, we're adjourned.